Welcome to Two Poor Artists, where we're poor at celebrating our 40-year anniversary, but mostly we're poor at making art. My name is Benj.
And my name is Isaac. And that's right. We have been on the internet doing this channel now
Yep.
for 4 years.
Yeah.
4 years and 6 days, actually.
Yeah. As of last Monday.
Uh-huh. We realized last week that, last Sunday when this video came out, that the next day was our anniversary. And we probably should have done an anniversary video.
Yep. But we're doing it now.
Yeah, it's better than
We're not waiting months down the road.
Our first anniversary was like our year and a half anniversary because we didn't even realize that happened. Because why did it happen?
Yeah.
Why is it still happening? 4 years.
Yeah. Why are we still doing this?
4 years.
Many ask us that. So you guys gave up on that.
Yeah, right.
3 years ago, right?
4 year anniversary. 4 years is it's like the age of a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
It's a long. 4-year-olds.
Right.
Our channel has learned to walk and talk and climb.
Yeah.
And our channel might be potty trained at this point.
It's smarter than the smartest parrots.
Yeah. Our channel is smarter than the smartest parrots by its age alone, And that's something to celebrate. Don't you think? I didn't think our channel would ever be smarter than a goldfish. And, that's... I think about this sometimes, on the grand scheme of things.
On the scale of human intelligence.
Yeah.
How old does a child have to be smarter than a goldfish? I feel like it's 2 months in the womb.
I think it's that long. Yeah, I don't know.
When the first couple neurons are formed.
Yeah, well, what's the smartest animal, human age equivalent?
I think it's parrots. It might be dolphins, though.
I think dolphins. I don't know.
It's hard to tell because parrots, you can, ask questions, and dolphins have to, point at things.
I found a list quickly online that talks about this. It says that chimpanzees are roughly the equivalent of a 4-year-old. Okay. So we made it to ape level.
We made it to ape.
That's impressive, right? Parrots, 4 years old to 5 years old, some say.
Yeah.
So we might
the smartest parrot might still be smarter.
Our channel is like a dumb parrot.
But on the smarter end.
Yeah, but
a dumb parrot's
a smarter end of animals, but a dumb parrot nonetheless.
Yeah.
It's like if we drew a parrot, it would be a dumb. It'd be like that parrot.
Yeah, it's squawking, not even talking.
Yeah.
Why did it have the bald eagle head?
Parrots are complicated.
Yeah. Are dolphins on that list?
Dolphins are on the list. Dolphins are 3-year-old human.
Oh, so they're
dumber than parrots. Yeah. I think really that's just because dolphins can't do much, and it's a lot harder to hang out with dolphins to really test them.
Yeah.
You try to give a dolphin a test, and it gets all wet, and they can't bubble in all the answers.
Yeah.
It disintegrates in the pool.
Plus, dolphins are kind of jerks.
But according to this list, we're smarter than cats.
Mm-hmm.
We're smarter than chimpanzees. We're smarter than dogs. We have not reached raven level yet, though.
Oh.
According to this list, ravens have the human equivalent of a 7-year-old.
What, ravens are smarter than parrots?
Ravens get into 2nd grade.
Man,
right? Why do we not have classrooms full of ravens? You know what we could teach them to do?
Yeah. And ravens can talk too, right? Like pigeons?
Yeah.
Like parrots?
Uh-huh.
Pigeons can
And they
talk.
can show up on your windowsill, and they can ask you open-ended questions.
Yeah.
About
your recent
murders and nevermore. Because, that's how ravens work.
Why aren't we? If a raven can be as smart as a 7-year-old can talk in full sentences.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that's where I wonder how they get this. I've never heard a raven.
I've seen 7-year-olds program video games before.
Yeah, they're teaching ravens to do that. Maybe. Let's be honest. If they're training ravens somewhere in a secret
I'm just wondering
lab.
Why don't we all have a raven servant?
Yeah, right? Probably because of
everyone's thought, man, I wish I had a 7-year-old level intelligent servant. right?
Yeah, but then it's like then they're like, you can't do that.
Yeah,
It's
but if it's
illegal.
a raven.
But the raven,
Yeah, why don't we have like classrooms full of ravens?
Yeah, like
learning how to serve their.
I might have a pet if it is
Like if it was as smart as a
smart as a
7-year-old,
2-year-old.
I've had interesting conversations with a 7-year-old.
Right? They'd be great companions for lonely people.
Yeah, and they could do tasks. Like a 7-year-old, you could go tell a 7-year-old go do this thing.
Yeah, go clean up your room.
Clean up your room.
Yeah.
Like they can
You
do
have a
it.
raven cleaning your living room.
Yeah, like
Like it's not vacuuming or anything.
Like
But
obedient and like 7 years, like that in the intelligence level is there. Not all 7-year-olds are very obedient.
Maybe they're all disobedient. Maybe they're like,
why are you like writing that?
because it gives people online to something to look at, right?
People aren't looking at the screen right now. They're doing something else. They just have this up.
Yeah, but maybe this will give them a reason to look at it while they're driving and they'll crash. We don't want that. Don't look at the screen. Okay, it's deleted. This channel is kind of all about art, though, isn't it? So
that wasn't art.
you're like, people never look at this screen.
Have you seen our art?
We're the two poor artists, man.
They're not here for the art.
People are here to,
They're here to hear weird
they're here to
takes
feel-
on Raven servants.
they're here to feel good about themselves, right? Like
I
they're
think instead of a maid service at our hotel, ravens.
Oh man,
Just
ravens could do everything.
flock of
You
ravens.
you tether enough ravens together, they could carry your bag up to your room.
Yeah.
You know?
What if we made like so people are talking about like AI robot servants,
No.
right?
Yeah. But
Raven
robot servants.
Like
But also real
like-
ravens.
yeah, no, I'm talking about Raven piloted
Oh.
human robot.
So the ravens are controlling, because you could give it to
I could give a
7-year-old a remote control.
and they like I've played video games with a 7-year-old.
Yeah,
They could
I've
be
probably
good.
lost video games to a
They
7-year-old.
can be good enough. And if that was their whole life, if a 7-year-old dedicated their life, their 7-year-old intelligence life, to because how long do ravens live? I mean, parrots live like 100 years. Are
No
ravens,
way.
are
No way that
ravens-
parrots live so long.
Are ravens the same?
Let's look it up. Raven lifespan 10 to 15 years. Like that's longer.
Not as long as a parrot.
No, but
But
that's a good dog.
yeah,
You know,
like you could have.
like you got
That's enough time to train a parrot.
yeah, and your
raven.
dying decrepit old parrot could train the next parrot.
Yes.
Could teach it everything that you like. You know, you
Yeah.
just-
So like all you have to do is
Your
train the
parrots-
first like 20 ravens, and then
they go off
train-
and teach the other
yeah.
ravens.
And maybe you get like a parrot in there too because they do
Yeah.
live longer.
Uh-huh.
So you train one of them to help train.
I
the
think
ravens.
what worries me about this though is the idea that if we start this like educating of the ravens at the Two Poor Artist Raven School and robot programming school.
Right.
If we start this, I feel like the ravens will organize the other vaguely smart animals against us.
Well, yeah, but
like
we don't have to worry about that.
once we've educated the first 20 ravens.
What's the worst case scenario? They go get chimps, the biggest, baddest of the strong.
Yeah.
They're
the
only
chimps.
4 years old.
Yeah,
Intelligence.
but like I'm not worried about the chimp outliving me. I'm worried about it like beating me to death.
no, but they're only as smart as a 4-year-old. You just outsmart them.
Oh, you're like, look over there.
Yeah.
4-year-olds will
Something
look
shiny.
over there.
Yeah. There's something shiny over
Yeah,
there.
but then they'll have like a raven on their shoulder, and the raven will be like, "Don't look, it's a trick." Telling you, man, if we
That's
teach,
by 7 years
Yes.
level intelligence.
it'll be weird. It'll be like being overrun by second graders that can fly.
But see, I think
One of my greatest
I think what you're
fears.
missing is yes, they might be as intelligent as a 7-year-old, but they're not human.
No, they're not
They
as
don't
strong.
have. They're not strong.
No opposable thumbs.
They don't have opposable thumbs. They don't have the driving force of a human.
No, but if you're suggesting that we teach them to remote control humanoid robots,
Right,
man,
but my point isn't that they're
dangerous.
Not, my main point isn't that they're not as strong. It's that they're not as driven. They're not humans. They don't have ambition like humans do.
Oh, you're right.
They just want food. They're just animals. Like they might be smart, but they're just animals.
I guess this is true, right? As long as we have like a cracker and a piece of fruit.
Like you just feed it enough. Yeah, sure. You start treating it bad and not feeding it or something.
Yeah,
it
will do what a 7-year-old might do to you if you are mean to them.
If you gave them a robot body.
I think they'll call you like a mean name. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you're a poopy face. And you're like, my raven servants. How could you?
Especially if you train them that way. Like, you're just like, that's the worst thing you can do to a person.
I think what really needs to happen is we need to train them like old English butlers, you know?
Well, I mean, that's what I'm proposing. I'm not saying we have a school where we teach them everything.
But, like, isn't this something...
just how to serve.
Isn't this something they already do in England? Like, you go to like the palaces and the Tower of London. And you know what all the people at the Tower of London have? Big old ravens. It's like a thing. England figured this out years ago, and they're just like...
We just didn't realize.
They're keeping it under wraps, you know?
Yeah.
One day, England's been preparing since World War II, like, to never let it happen again. You know, World War III breaks out, the raven armies of the English will just rise into the skies.
They're probably all over the world.
Yeah.
Because if there was a raven sitting on your house, you wouldn't think, oh, that's an English spy.
Oh, yeah. No, you wouldn't. But it is? It is, obviously. Just like if you saw a 7-year-old standing on your front door, you probably wouldn't think this is a spy. You'd probably be like, I need to call the police because it's a 7-year-old.
I mean, the Cold War would teach you that you should suspect that's probably a Russian spy.
Yes, Russians. Yes, but Russians don't have ravens.
No,
they have like caribou. Caribou's in your backyard, smoking a cigarette, drinking a bottle of vodka. You're like, I don't know. It might be a Russian spy. Probably. Like, I don't know too many other. But caribou's is dumb, man.
Yeah,
the English are the only ones we got to worry about.
Yeah.
You have a raven that lands on your front porch and it's like, pip, pip, stupid American. Then I'm not going to talk in front of it, you know? And then you see it like lurking at your windowsill because they do that.
Yeah.
Edgar Allan Poe made it very clear. They hang out on all windowsills.
Yeah.
You open up your window, it comes inside and questions you about your comings and goings. And, you know. But the point is, it's our 4-year anniversary. I hope you got me a raven because I know I got you one. Start the school. Started in our basement. You know.
Oh, when do we get a basement?
We don't talk about the basement. The studio basement is just full of ravens. You think the lights are off? The lights are on. There's just so many ravens. It looks pitch black.
Yeah.
I might even argue it looks raven.
And they're
black.
all learning.
Yeah, they're down there whispering math equations. You know, like basic arithmetic, and like they can read at a 2nd grade level.
Right.
Can they read? Yeah. They have a hard time turning the pages without tearing them.
Mm-hmm. But that's what the robot bodies are.
I'm not on board with that idea quite yet.
Well, but how are they supposed to do your bed?
In teams. You've seen Cinderella. You know how they not only make Cinderella's clothes, but they dress her and clean her entire house. Think of that.
I don't think that's physically possible. Like, how are they gonna iron your shirt?
12 ravens tied together to one string.
Are they tying themselves?
Yeah, there's a raven that we teach to tie. Maybe it's like a big mutant raven.
I mean, ravens are pretty big.
Just like, they are.
They're not crows.
But they're big.
Yeah.
Could a raven lift? I'm going to look up one last thing before we start. How much weight can a raven lift?
What's the wind speed velocity of
an English raven spy? They can hold up to 1.5 times their body weight.
Okay. I'm glad they gave us math to do instead of an answer.
Hang on. This says 1.5 times their body weight, but then it gives me an example that says, well, it's actually half their body weight. I'm just going to go with the vague answer I saw online, and ravens weigh about 3.2 pounds. So they can lift about 6.5 pounds. Mm-hmm. You get a small iron.
Right.
And a really buff crow.
But can it lift that and maneuver it? Like,
I mean, you get two crows.
But that's even harder to maneuver because remember, 7-year-old intelligence.
What?
Can 2 7-year-olds work together to iron something well?
Not without like scalding themselves, I don't imagine. But...
Yeah,
But that's what training is, man. How many 7-year-olds are we training to iron things?
Yeah, but we also don't want to like kill off all of our ravens in the training process.
Well, I mean, there's an acceptable margin of loss of raven life as we transition the world over to being butlered by ravens.
I'm just saying, robot bodies would fix a lot of these problems.
I think this is like Dalek level from Doctor Who. Like you crack open the robot and you're like, what's in there? And it's a raven. And you're like, what the heck is that? Whoever thought of this idea? And they'll be like, it was the 2 poor artists.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the raven tells them that.
There was that episode about ravens and where he taught them, like the reason they say caw is...
I wasn't going to use the example of Doctor Who where they actually have ravens. I was going to use murderous robot piloting aliens. Because that's what we were suggesting.
Mm-hmm. I think murderous robots...
Finish that sentence.
Are
Yeah, finish
the
it.
best.
Oh! Not what I was expecting.
Because, I mean, one, not only could they do all your chores and everything for you, but also they could defend your home.
Yeah, no.
Because, sure, murderous robot, but like trustworthy murderous robot. Like, remember the episode where there's the good Daleks?
You like my Dalek?
No.
No. Yeah, okay.
But remember the episode where there's good Daleks?
No.
I mean, they turned out to be bad in the end.
Yes.
But like they were.
Oh yeah, they were serving.
They were real helpful.
You know who they were serving in that episode? They were serving the British.
Yeah.
Because that's what the British do. They have very weird robot, raven, alien spies.
Yeah.
Let's draw. Okay, so put all of that out of your mind. Pause the video if you need to. Go get something cool and refreshing and settle in because it is our 4-year anniversary.
In fact, you should go get some fruit for yourself.
You know what else might be nice? Go out to the garden and pick a few flowers. And if you're in the garden and you spill some dirt on your pants, you can go upstairs and use one of your washing appliances. That's right. I'm sure everyone at home has caught the connection. Because the 4-year anniversary is very special. It's not like other anniversaries. You know, long ago, and then not so long ago, but also long ago, apparently the greatest minds of the generation got together and are like, you know what? Anniversaries are tough.
Yeah.
Figuring out what we're going to get the wife? Don't even get us started. We never know. So we'll just make a list. Right. And for every anniversary, there's a special gift, and you have to get a gift that's that.
Yeah.
So like the 1st-year anniversary was, paper, and then there's like tin because people want tin. You know, this was clearly made like during the Great Depression.
Right. Because it's like you got to get them cheap gifts. It's like, unless you're like 15 years married, then you start getting expensive gifts.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like you've saved or something. I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, there's the traditional anniversary gifts. Year 1 is paper. Year 2 is cotton. Year 3 is leather. Year 4, here it is. Fruit / flowers.
Yep.
Fruit and flowers is the traditional 4-year anniversary gift, you know? Like, apparently you're just like, you don't have a car by your 4-year anniversary, walking home, and you're like, oh, pick an apple off the tree, steal a flower from the garden. Happy anniversary, dear. I definitely didn't forget.
Yeah.
You know, most of these traditional ones just make it seem like someone forgot their anniversary and is like, no. Like this paper swan I made for our 1-year anniversary is the traditional gift of paper.
It's probably just like a note or something.
Yeah, okay.
Like you definitely will forget.
Yeah, the 2nd year's cotton. They're like, oh, look, a swath of cotton.
In fact, that 1st year, it's like,
here's some yarn.
They're probably not even expecting you to be home. You just like have your secretary send a letter.
Yeah. That's
the
good old days of marriage.
You work late.
Sorry, I'm at the office late again, dear, for the 2nd year in a row. I don't know how this works. But...
2nd year in a row? Like their wedding day, he was said.
Obviously. Married over the phone like they did during the olden days. But anyway, at some point, someone modernized, and I use modernized very loosely in this term, modernized the gifts. I'm guessing it was like the gifts were decided in the 1400s, and then in the 1800s they decided to modernize. They're like, this is the modern age. We have steam power almost, and they're like, yes, quite good, jolly man of England.
Let's get weirder, worse.
Let's get weirder, worse gifts. Like the modern gifts. What I'm saying, you know what we should have done? We should have created the new list of gifts.
Oh yeah,
5-year anniversary. There's an idea. Because
we'll need to write that down.
It needs upgraded, updated again. Because the modern gift. Remember, year 1 was paper. The modern gift is clocks. Because nothing says 1-year anniversary like, here, dear, I bought you a clock. Yeah. You know?
I know I forgot the anniversary and what time it is. Here's the clock.
Like, I don't get that gift. If anyone bought me a clock, I would be greatly disappointed. Buy me like a smartwatch, maybe. But I don't think that's where this was going. I think it was like, I got us a clock for the mantelpiece so we won't be late because the sundial was getting a little hard to read, you know? Year 2 is China, not the country. The traditional plates that our great-great-grandparents thought were important, you know? Not modern. Year 3, glass or crystal. Nothing doesn't really scream modern, you know? A crystal chandelier is still like centuries old. No one buys those anymore. Yeah. And year 4.
But what if it's like smart glasses?
See, again, this is why we need like an upgraded.
The
upgraded version of a clock, you buy them a smartwatch. Upgraded China, you buy them something from China. You know, it could be anything.
It's just like
as long as it has the made in China logo on it, you're safe. It's real easy the second year. 3. Anyway, the 4-year modern anniversary gift is appliances. So, in case you're counting at home, the traditional old-timey gift was flowers and fruits. The modern gift, appliances. So we thought today, 22 minutes into this anniversary video.
Counting at home. What are they counting?
Counting
up to 3.
Up to 3. Well, we've said so much. Let's be honest. Their heads are spinning. They don't know if they should buy a raven or if they should be scared of raven.
Yeah, the ravens have nothing to do with it.
They're checking their backyard for Russian caribou. Like, it's been an interesting day. The point is, we're going to mix the traditional and the modern gift. The title of today's video, Fruit, Flowers, and Appliances. You know, what everyone wants for their 4-year anniversary. I'm sorry, Ben, to tell you, I didn't get you any fruit or flowers or appliances. I don't know if poor artists are supposed to buy each other anniversary gifts.
No, I feel like this is supposed to be wedding anniversary.
We're not that.
Nope.
But we are poor arts compatriots.
We can draw each other pictures.
We'll draw each other. So this is not necessarily a gift for you, but my gift will be my art.
Right.
Just like it's a gift to everyone in the world, but mostly you today.
Right. Like gift is a loose term. Like you can have a bad gift.
And no doubt this will be that.
Yeah, like, you know, Christmas morning, you're opening up your packages. One of them's a bomb. Like, that's a bad gift.
What is that? Where is that example coming from? Did you have a really rough childhood that I was probably there for that I don't remember?
Haven't you ever seen the Christmas classic?
Oh, Jingle All the Way?
Jingle All the Way.
Oh,
bombs are commonplace in Christmas mail.
I think that was a lie.
But
then it wasn't.
It was a real bomb.
Yeah, and that was like the surprise.
That was a surprise.
The person who said that it was common was surprised.
Like he thought he was.
That's a silly movie.
Yeah.
I'm going to draw fruit, flowers, and appliances. You know, we've talked for like a half hour now. Yeah. I barely had an idea before we started today. I have no idea.
How has the stalling helped you at all?
Not even a little bit. Yeah. Like, I want to draw a caribou and a raven.
Yeah, but have nothing to do with.
No, but I feel like almost like they need to be part of it.
Could you make them have to do with it? I bet they eat fruit.
And flowers?
Yeah.
I'm sure. If I saw a caribou munching on like a sunflower, I would be like,
I would think nothing of it.
Yeah, you know? But then it was like, but is it eating a Russian flower? They don't have flowers in Russia. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Just ice. More ice. Fruit, flowers, and appliances. So
the old FFA.
No. There is things on the screen now for those people who are not looking at the screen.
Yeah, the people that are like, oh, so they're not drawing.
Yeah, we're not drawing today.
That's just not what their channel is.
Yeah, super artists.
Wouldn't that have been funny if, like, for our 4-year anniversary, we just talked for like an hour, never drew anything?
I mean, we got pretty close. You know, like
it would just be
people at home are screaming at their TV screens. If funny, if
we only did it for half an hour, not a full hour.
Oh yes, that's
now we both just have to try to draw in like 15 minutes
each.
It's
much worse, I think. It's so much worse.
Or else the video is going to be real long.
I mean, it's already there. People at home are exhausted.
Is this like a Starbucks cup?
It's a blender. Because appliances and
right, yeah.
You know.
We're just gonna decorate a blender with fruit and flowers. Call it a day.
That would have been an idea.
Is it gonna be blending fruit?
And flowers.
But also be decorated with flowers?
These are in the blender. I just want to make that clear. They're not.
Oh. So there's no base.
Notice how like blenders are always clear?
Yeah.
I think somebody should invent a not clear blender.
Mm-hmm.
So you blend it and you're like, I wonder if it's blended. You know? be a surprise.
You never know.
Yeah. You know, that's an idea.
Yeah, it's
one of those like bad invention ideas.
Yeah.
Blender where you can't tell.
Yeah, like there's a reason that they're all clear. It's not because people like glass.
Oh, it's not.
What's the thing sticking out the side?
This? Oh, you'll see. That's very unrelated.
Is it like a clown hat?
That's the oddish. It's the blender part. The spiky bit.
Why does it look like that?
It's spiky.
No, I understand this is spiky.
This is the banana over here. That's probably why you're getting confused.
No, I knew that was a banana.
No, I see. It's definitely why you're getting. Just.
Also, this is a really big blender. If that's a banana, and those are also really big flowers.
Oh, it is a very big blender. I don't know why all the flowers and fruits congregate together. I think they're racist. You know, like they're like,
it's a weight thing.
Is it? Is it that way? Yep. What's another fruit that's easy to draw?
Grapes.
I already drew grapes.
Where?
Those are grapes, man.
What? That's a flower.
No. Oh, no. See, it's interesting because aren't all fruits flowers at some time?
Like I always thought that was like when you first drew and it was just those. I thought you just drew two flowers next to each other.
Well, don't you feel silly now?
You draw a cauliflower because I mean I guess that's not a fruit though.
No, thank you for acknowledging.
But is it a flower? I was trying to think.
Cauliflower.
It's like a flower and a fruit, but it's not a fruit.
That's a cauliflower. It's the person who's putting this together doesn't really care.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing this for taste.
No, it's much worse than that.
Especially since it's more flowers than fruit.
All right. So we got the fruits and the flowers in a blender, right?
They're about to got whatever that thing on the side is.
You're gonna find out. Buttons.
Man, you've had weird blenders in your life.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah, it's interesting. I had a blender like 10 years ago. Isn't that interesting?
Did it have like one small button in the middle?
Yeah, it was really odd.
And one sideways button.
All blenders should have one button. Blend as hard as you can. Yeah. That's what it should be labeled, you know?
And
nobody's like,
as long as you're holding it.
But like nobody's like,
who's like pushing the button and then walking away for a second?
Yeah, no one. Like, no, everyone has watched enough America's Funniest Home Videos to know that you don't walk away from a blender or else it ends up on the ceiling.
I only used a pulse button.
Yeah, see?
Like I've never used a different button.
I used a blender the other night. Mm-hmm. Actually, it's the food processor attachment for the blender because as I've explained, the blender part broke years ago. But yeah, like no one walks away from a blender.
No.
And no one uses the like low setting. They're like, I just kind of want this blended and just chunky. No one has ever blended something hoping it comes out chunky in the end.
Right.
They're like, I want it to be able to be sucked through a straw.
Yeah.
I want to be able to suck it through a coffee stirrer. You know, like that's what they want.
Right.
They want it liquefied. That's what a lot of blenders have. They hit the liquefy button, which is a lie.
Right.
It's like liquefy, you mean get stuck immediately and you have to get a spoon down in there button? Yeah, that's what most blenders are like.
Right.
Terrible things. This, on the other hand, is an invention. A terrible invention. It's an evil scientist's invention.
Oh.
That's this thing. This is the evil science ray.
Been watching some of that new season of
Phineas and Ferb?
Phineas and Ferb.
Don't you know it? I mean, I know you know it because we were talking about it like 10 minutes ago. And, you know,
Yeah, but the audience didn't know it.
they didn't know.
So in that vein, would this be an innator?
It
Or
is.
is it like a
It would be an
different-
innator. I'm not going to draw Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
Right,
I'm
yeah.
going to save that for later drawing. 'Cause,
Yeah.
You know,
Is this the evil scientist?
but unfortunately, I guess
Oh
he's
man, he is maniacal. Look at that guy.
got...
Look at that guy. He's a
Yeah.
mad scientist in the other way. He's not just angry with the world. He's
missing a couple of teeth too, you know. And everybody knows the most important thing of a
oh man. Look at that forehead.
hair, man. Every evil scientist is mostly
Known for their hair.
I think this guy's just having a real bad hair day. A lot of times they'll have a bow tie because bow ties are cool.
And evil mad scientists care about being cool.
You try. They have ambitions.
This kind of seems like a extra crazed Miss Frizzle.
Yeah, it is. It's like Miss Frizzle's brother that no one talks about. You know something happened.
Mr. Frizzle.
Mr. Frizzle. No one wants to speak of.
Like he's the one that made the magic school bus.
Ooh, that's an interesting bit of made-up lore. Look, he has a lab coat.
Yeah. 'Cause, like, obviously she's not a scientist that can invent magic school buses.
Look at how crazy this guy is. He actually has 5 fingers.
Oh, man. And gloves.
Yeah,
Maybe he only has 4 fingers under the gloves.
that's a definite.
Oh, man. That.
That's the finger that's not on.
The thumb? The thumb is the finger he doesn't have?
He has the glove on upside down and backwards or something. I don't really know. Mad scientists always tend to have pointy shoes. You ever notice that?
Mm-hmm.
The evilest of footwear.
His feet are turned weirdly, and he's standing on his heels. Just like
Yeah, his really uncomfortable shoes.
real weird.
4 sizes too small.
His legs are 4 sizes too small, too.
Yeah, I think I need to give him like a little pocket. Sciencey pocket.
Yeah.
That's instruments of evil.
Pocket protector.
His hair is not quite the way I want to hit. There. It's so much worse now. I don't really know how to do this guy's hair. Oh, you know what he has though?
Oh.
Goatee.
Yeah. Nothing's more evil than a goatee.
Uh-huh. Got goat in the name.
Mm-hmm.
Goats are evil.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, this mad scientist has invented an appliance, you know, for the 4-year anniversary, you know, because he's so sick of.
Is it just like floating next to him?
Oh, I wish.
Is he floating?
I wish. Oh, you know what? I have an idea. That's a raven foot. Don't go Google a raven feet. You'll be real confused when they don't look anything like that. Raven foot.
Mm-hmm.
This one just goes up so far you can't see the other raven foot.
There's another raven.
There's another raven up there. You know.
Yeah.
And
so he's just like walking around with these ravens holding this senator.
They just calling
appliance.
Caw. It's not how you spell caw, I don't think, but
that's how I would have spelled it.
Caw. Cough. Caw. That old raven. It's been in his service for many years, like 14.
Right.
You know, that's how it's so.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what's this mad scientist doing on this anniversary, you might be wondering. Like, he's shooting things with this invention, with this appliance. And it blended up fruits and flowers.
Right.
That's what it does. And I think... Yeah, mad scientists always have something they don't like. You know, like, it's so cliche that they just want to take over the world or the tri-state area. I think this guy has, like, a personal vengeance against something. It's probably sidewalks.
Oh. What happened to him? What's the backstory?
There's a lot of backstories that can involve sidewalks. I just want you all at home to think of 2 evil scientist sidewalk backstories, and I'm sure you'll get there. Just think. Why would an evil scientist want to destroy all?
One of them's definitely the one you're thinking of.
Well, I mean, you and I are special. We're artists.
But what is that?
He's up on like a butte, looking down at the world sidewalks, you know, and he's gonna shoot him. And when he shoots him, what should happen? Oh wait, why does he hate sidewalks? Why? What's the evil behind the sidewalks? You know.
You're asking me. My guess is he was learning how to ride his bike, and there was a crack in the sidewalk, and he fell over.
Oh no, that's not it. No, that's interesting, but no. No, he accidentally stepped on a crack.
Oh, broke his mother's back?
No. What? That's not how it goes, is it?
Yes.
Step on a crack and you break. Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah, his mom. No, I was going to go with something different.
Because it's step on a line, break your father's spine.
Yeah, I knew that one.
Break on a crack. Break your mother's back.
That's sad, though. I don't want to put that. It's not even Mother's Day. Can't have a Mother's Day.
Well, you could say he stepped on a line.
And broke his father's spine? No.
But you're the one that brought it up.
No, the whole backstory is falling apart. Now he has, like, no good reason for this.
What did you think it was?
No, it's okay. We don't need to get into that. We don't need to. One day, he was walking down the street, and he saw all the sidewalks of the city, and he thought to himself, this reminds me of that one time in grade school with the sidewalk that I was walking on, and then there was a crack.
You could also say that he's just always believed, like he's always careful to not step on cracks and lines. But he's like, why do they build them into sidewalks? And look at all these people breaking their mother's back constantly, stepping on the cracks. So he thinks he's doing good. He thinks he's saving all these moms.
Wow, that's not at all what I was going to go with. But I also am desperately struggling now that I don't remember the rhyme.
I want to hear what you thought the rhyme was.
No, it's okay.
You can make up your own rhyme.
I can.
This is a whole different world. This is the world in which you have flower fruit tonators.
You know, that's a common misconception. Lots of people have these. I think it has to do with childhood trauma. You know?
His reasoning.
Yeah, he grew up next to the streets. As you know, it's not on the streets like a lot of people think. You know, he grew up next to the streets.
Like in a house?
No, in between the streets and his house.
On the sidewalks?
You know, he ran away from home when he was a very young child due to his mother's constant need to comb his hair. You know, he liked it wild and crazy. You know, so he decided, you know, it's better just to leave home as a young man so that no one tries to comb my hair. He's about 7. Yeah. He's about as smart as a raven. Yeah. He relates to ravens quite a bit due to that, you know, moment.
He's never really grown past that.
He grew up next to the streets. And, you know, sleeping, yeah, that's next to the streets. Right?
Yeah.
Sleeping on the sidewalk is quite uncomfortable, you know? And he, you know, he hates that about sidewalks. You know, if any other children or people or ravens are trying to live next to the streets, he wants it to be comfortable. So that's exactly, he shoots his beam and it adds vines, you know, spiky vines.
Oh, so not comfortable.
He's an evil scientist. Let's keep that in mind.
So he's like, I suffered this. Everyone should suffer.
Everyone must suffer, you know. They must feel the same way I feel about sidewalks.
They'll just have to get rid of all their sidewalks so that they don't have people stepping on them.
There will be no more next to the streets. You know?
Just streets.
Just streets. Because growing up on the streets is much better than growing up next to the streets, as everybody knows. Just imagine this guy rolling into town, you know? Being on the news.
Yep. His ravens carrying his blender.
Yeah, I think all mad scientists need clever henchmen. And just having 7-year-old intelligent ravens.
Yep.
Ooh, that's, you know, just, it's brilliant. This guy should get his own sitcom. You know? He should have a nemesis.
Well, wouldn't his nemesis be the hero?
Yeah, the nemesis would be the hero. It's a parrot. Struggles with his own intelligence of only being that of a 3-year-old.
I thought parrots were 4 to 5.
And it's a dolphin. Dolphin that somehow, despite being not near the ocean, maybe it's not an animal. Maybe I'm really stuck in Phineas and Ferb in case you can't tell.
Maybe it is 7-year-old.
So happy anniversary. It's a 7-year-old. Like just an actual. Yeah, so we have flowers. Wait, fruit, flowers.
There's fruit, flowers, and appliances.
Wow. Fun fact about me. As a young child, I never learned to do the and symbol. And I still can't do it. So every time I have to write and.
You mean the ampersand?
Ampersand. I can't write it.
How embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. I'm embarrassed by it.
It's not actually something that most people learn how to do, though.
Yeah, that's what typewriters were invented for.
I learned how to do it in college because of programming.
You had to hand draw an ampersand because of programming?
Well, it's like because it's a specific symbol in programming. So if you wanted to write...
I think you're doing programming wrong if there's any pen and paper involved.
But if you wanted to like write down what program you're taking a test in person.
I think it's wrong to take a programming test on pencil and paper.
Sometimes.
No wonder you gave up and become a poor artist. Like, good for you, man. The oppression of doing a programming test on pencil and paper would be enough to break anyone. Especially that guy who looks vaguely like Willy Wonka.
And Miss Frizzle.
Maybe Willy Wonka and Miss Frizzle are related and they have a third sibling. This guy.
I would believe it.
The one who ran away when he was 7 to live next to the streets. You know?
But then built the magic school bus.
Yeah, because, he was next to the streets. He gathered lots of extra spare parts. Found a broken down bus one day. That was his first invention. How did his sister end up with it then?
4th anniversary.
Oh! No, what anniversary is magic school buses? We can add that to our list of, extremely modern anniversary gifts. Magic vehicles. It'll be year 1. Imagine having to wait 30 years to get a magic vehicle. I think it's lame that they scale, It should get more disappointing as time goes by. Don't you think?
Is that what you think of marriage?
Well, no. I just think the gifts, because marriage is the greatest gift of all. I say with sincerity. In my heart.
I'll be having a talk with your wife.
Yeah, well, she would appreciate a magic vehicle. I'm just saying, if you give a great gift at the beginning of the marriage, then the rest of the marriage benefits from that great gift. If you wait 30 years, then you're like, why didn't we buy one of these 30 years ago, Imagine having a magic school bus year 1.
Yeah, but if you gave a magic school bus year 1, and then it's like the next year, you're like, here's like a regular car.
Yeah, but it won't matter because you have a magic school bus already, man. That's what I'm saying. The rest will just be like...
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess when the gift is a magic school bus.
Yeah.
A
magic vehicle of some kind.
But most people can't get their hands on such a thing.
Most people don't have a runaway third sibling.
Yeah, that can build science that's akin to magic.
I always grew up wishing that I had a runaway third sibling that could build inventions.
Yep.
Didn't you?
Everyone does.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a common... It's a common trope amongst siblings.
Yeah.
Like, if only we had a cool sibling.
Yeah, where's that cool sibling that ran away and lived on next to the
you
street?
always make up stories about, we had another sibling, they were cool, unlike all my other siblings.
Mm-hmm.
They were perfect. They've always listened to me, and they would always have made me cool magic vehicles. Too bad they grew up next to the street.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Never really got to hang out with them.
Yeah. They were. We all wish we had one of those.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like a stegosaurus.
Yep.
Not anymore, though. It's probably a raven. Fruits, flowers, and appliances.
Mm-hmm.
I can honestly say every time my wife and I have ever had to buy an appliance, it's been like, well, that appliance broke. I guess we're getting a new appliance, and we hate it, Or like, if only that old one could have lasted for 1,000 years like our grandparents,
Mm-hmm.
You go over to my grandparents' house, and they have, the washing machine they bought when they got married, and it works perfectly, and it, the clothes are cleaner somehow than our modern ones. We're on, washing machine number 3 in 2 years. Our clothes are really hard on washing machines.
What are you doing?
Yeah. No, but you know what I mean? Nobody buys an appliance. That's like a trope now. If you bought your wife an appliance, people would be like, well, you're sleeping on the couch tonight, That's like the movie thing. But I think actually in reality, people probably like appliances, don't they?
Maybe.
Like if someone was like, here's a new vacuum cleaner, they got a vacuum. You might as well get them a cool vacuum cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm both confirming stereotypes and disagreeing with stereotypes about appliances. The old appliance stereotypes. I like how you went all stereotypical with the work whistle from the Great Depressions. Yeah. Back when they used whistle. Imagine today if it was like, your shift's over. Listen for the high-pitched whistle the whole town can hear. Mm-hmm. The unions would be all over that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a chainsaw.
Unions are lame.
You drew a chainsaw, man. A chainsaw with an aerosol can on the top. So, if you need a chainsaw to cut your fruits and vegetables, you're getting them off the wrong plants.
Yeah, it's not a chainsaw.
You're like, honey, I cut you some flowers using my chainsaw. That's a manly thing to do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's manly to cut things with a chainsaw.
I agree.
I've never owned a chainsaw due to not living in the forest. You buy a chainsaw in the city and people are like, oh no, you're probably on a list now, like potential serial killers or something. Like, what would they ever need a chainsaw for? Now I'm thinking of things I could use a chainsaw for. It'd be cool to own a chainsaw. I might go get one this weekend.
Is that
Taking a trip down to Home Depot.
Is that what you've decided?
Well, it is our 4-year anniversary. I can justify it by like, well, I had to buy an appliance of some kind. This is a fruit and flower chainsaw. I hate to break it to you, but you spelled chainsaw wrong.
Oh, what?
Is this not a chainsaw?
No, it's not a chainsaw.
Oh, is it like is that a...
You might think this is like a flower,
Oh, is
but
that like
it's a light.
That's a bit confusing, I'll admit. Is that a... what? Why did it have headband tassels coming out the back? What are those?
You'll see. But they're like funnels.
Funnels. Is that a conveyor belt on the right?
Yep.
Art.
Yeah,
Art
this
doesn't speak for itself sometimes.
This
You
is
have to
an
ask.
appliance.
You think, like, real, and by real, I mean, like, not real, but you know, like, snooty artists that have stuff in galleries, do you think if you go up to them and you're like, so what is that? You think they're offended? Probably, right? They get in their French accent, or whatever all those fake artists have, and they're like, dude, I put up my nose at you, you smelly peasant who doesn't appreciate this $1 million piece of art. And then they slap you with their glove because they still wear gloves.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that sounds like...
Yeah, but like somebody asks us what our art is, we're like, yeah, we get it. Yeah, we'll try to explain, but please forgive the first 22 minutes of the explanation that has to do with raven butlers.
Yeah.
You know?
You'll never guess.
It all started with our 4-year anniversary, which reminds me, why don't we have robots controlled by raven butlers?
Yeah. The perfect...
Oh, and it's not a chainsaw. It's actually, whatever this is.
Conveyor belt.
Conveyor belt.
Yeah. So
It has a lot of lights on it, man. This thing's going to be seen at distance.
Yeah. So this is a fruit and flower omatic, right? So you drop in, you know...
Fruit?
Fruit. This is an apple.
Oh, if you ever see an apple like that, boys and girls, do not eat it.
You put in fruit. You put in a flower.
Oh, boys and girls, if you see a flower like that, do not eat it.
It's perfectly fine.
It is a
flower.
wilted flower and an apple that has been left in the sun to the point of being an apple raisin.
The apple's pretty bad.
It's an apple raisin and a wilted flower.
The flower is perfectly fine. We'll have like a hand coming off here, that's like dropping it in.
Oh, okay, that's good artistry.
Dropping it in. Then the other hand. Just feel bad for him. Don't ask questions.
No, I have already done the feeling bad. Really little hands too. Yeah, no.
It's
both hands facing the same direction with the thumb in the same position. Yeah, no, it's just he's bent over backwards.
When you put your hands like this, both hands are facing up. Both thumbs are up.
So they are. That explains 4 years of hands. Every time I feel like I draw hands, you're like, yeah, you got it upside down. And I'm like, I don't think I do. 4 years, you couldn't have just said, yeah, this is what it actually looks like.
What? You have hands.
Yeah, I'm
want.
usually using my hands to create art at that time. I can't just set down the instruments. And so anyway, you put in fruit and flowers.
So you put in fruit, flowers, then it goes crazy.
Oh, so this is...
You hear machinery.
See, this is... I don't know what's going to come out because you already have the appliance, the fruit, and the flowers.
Yeah.
What comes out? Like,
yeah, and so
4-year anniversary.
Put these in, crazy lights, crazy like steam coming out.
I bet a raven's going to come out.
And you got... So it's like, you're like, oh man.
Or a Russian...
Something. This is like in Willy Wonka where they like acid
the gum machine.
No.
Oh.
I'm talking about the gum machine too. That
where
also
there's
works.
like all the
I was
crazy
thinking when
lights
they
and
were like
buzzers and
the
steam.
scientists were like asking it where the chocolate bar was.
Oh, that one.
They like put it in and it makes all those noises, and then
Yeah.
it comes out with like the slip of paper,
And it says,
whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, it's like
Or
it's all that noise.
it's just the
gum
most
machine-
the
gum machine's
most
also-
machine
yeah,
possible.
the most machine. And then of course what comes out, because the things you put in was fruit and flour, things that come out is also the exact same
Wait.
fruit and flour.
Oh, it's because it's a fruit and flour omatic.
Yeah.
Does it clone them? Or it's just
No, like it automatically moves them from those funnels to the conveyor belt.
that's actually pretty impressive. After
So that's
all,
what the
whatever
omatic
whatever
is.
happens in there, the fact that they're both neatly on the conveyor belt.
Yeah, like that's what it does. It sorts them.
It sorts them into the same order they were put in,
Yeah.
and
and
the
then
same way they were put
breeds
in.
them. So it's like, so you can like give, your wife flowers and fruit.
Yeah, this is
By
impressive.
putting them in
it
the
makes it
machines.
special.
Yeah.
Because fruit and flowers by themselves,
Mm-hmm.
no, I mean like
And
mildly
it's
special,
it's the 4th anniversary. You're like, well, I got to get her fruit, got to get her flowers,
and an appliance. Yeah, but what's the appliance
And we
going to
already
do?
have all the appliances
Yeah,
we need.
right. Like, yeah, you're not just going out and buying another. Like, I got us another washing machine.
Well, it's the 4th anniversary.
just in case, sorry,
you know how it
break.
is.
You don't want to have to store a spare appliance.
No.
Gosh, this is brilliant. Why don't we?
Yeah.
We should market these.
And this is it. The
Yeah.
fruit and flour
I
omatic.
think like if you just had one of these in every major city in the world, everyone whose 4th anniversary could just come.
Mm-hmm.
The husband could, with 2 weirdly length arms, could just drop them in, and then the wife is standing at the end of the conveyor belt, and it's delivered to her. But it's an experience,
Mm-hmm.
Because how often do we hear, "I don't want stuff, I just want experiences,"
Yeah.
Well, this is both. You get the proper, determined. You're supposed to get these things as a gift, You know how people rent appliances?
Yeah.
I guess because they're
Well, it's usually like a rent-to-own situation.
yeah.
It's like
okay.
you just don't have enough money to buy it all at once.
I guess that's.
But you're like, we need
a washing machine
or like a microwave or whatever. It's like we need one.
Yeah, but like this, you could literally just rent for a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For your 4th
Because
anniversary.
you're never gonna need it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's almost more like a tool. Because that's actually real common to like go to Home Depot
Rent a
and
tool.
rent a tool that you're literally only going to use
Yeah,
once.
so like all flower shops and fruit shops should
Yeah.
start putting these for
like
rent.
those fruit arrangement / flower shops.
How many people do you think are having 4th anniversaries every day? It can't be that many.
I don't know. I put a period after my age.
It's definitive. It's final. He is 32. This invention,
Yeah.
this appliance is
So there's like
really stupid.
how many like married people are there in America? Like there's like 300 million people. How many of them are married? How many of them got married 4 years ago? With our extremely high divorce rate,
I don't even know the math to figure this
assuming
out.
people are married until their 4th year and then before they get their divorce with that.
How many people are married each day in the United States?
Then how many of those marriages last for 4
This
years?
According to this one random thing I saw online, it says that there are 6,200 weddings a day.
Right. But unfortunately
What
in
is the math?
America, most of those don't make it to.
What is the math? So like
4
we could
years.
argue that there's okay, so at most there's 6,000,
4-year anniversaries every day.
but it's not.
Because like if
The
every
math is
marriage-
too complicated for that. Like
Yeah.
it's
like-
less than 6,000.
Yeah, because if every marriage lasted 4 years,
Yeah.
then it would be just the same as the number of getting married.
Yeah.
But that's not the reality we live in.
So we'll just say it's like 5,000.
It's
conservatively,
like 3,000.
hopefully.
Like you would wish.
So like at most you'd need 6,000 of these.
Divorce. Like we have an unfortunately high divorce rate.
This is getting depressing. Let's just.
But there's also death.
Optimism. Oh yeah, there's the optimism I was looking for. They might not have gotten divorced. They might have just died.
That's better than divorce.
I think that's sadly true. Maybe. Let's not end our anniversary on this note. There needs to be 6,200 of these things put in place in the United States.
Yeah.
Every major city. You know, you might have to share one.
Yeah, I mean, because it can be used multiple times in a day. Like, you're not going to need it all day. You're not going to be sending fruit and flowers to your wife all day in the fruit and flower-o-matic.
It's going to be one of those awkward situations where it's like, the husband's like, look what I got you, a fruit and flower-o-matic. And she's like, but that's what I got you. You know, you need two.
Right.
Two, because everyone knows this is what you do.
Yeah.
You know, and let's just, I mean, maybe a few less, because like maybe there's that couple who's like, the washer just broke this morning, you know, because the husband like broke it so he could buy. He's like, I gotta get an appliance. Which appliance do I hate the most?
I already got the fruit and flower.
I hate the jingle the washing machine makes every time the clothes are done. Why are there two verses to every song it plays? Yeah, I'm gonna destroy it. You know, and then he gets to buy a new one.
Yeah, get a non-Samsung.
But for the for the frugals. For your anniversary year. Here you go.
Yep.
This. And happy anniversary, Bench. Happy 4 years of poor art. And let me
4 whole years.
Let me just be the first to apologize to the world on our behalf.
And future apology, because there will be a fifth.
There will be a fifth.
I mean, like, obviously, we don't know the future.
Unless we're divorced or die, you know, like, nice and happy again. No, 5 years is a coming. Poor art train is a rolling. You know, it's
nothing's slowing it down.
Yeah, it's you know, whatever sound the art train makes.
Yeah, you guys will see. You guys will see 52 or whatever more drawings.
52. That means there's going to be another Easter animation next year.
Another animation.
Dear, oh dear, man.
And maybe some bonus, videos.
Yeah, we like bonus.
That we throw in there.
Yeah. So apologies for the next year.
Yep.
And a happy anniversary to you if it is your 4-year anniversary.
I mean, if you guys
make sure you're getting one of these.
If you guys go and get all of your friends to watch. You know, to the point that like we can quit our real jobs, do this full time, and get our hotel, then we could promise even more than 52
we get a poor art hotel with some raven butlers and maids, raven bellboys.
Yeah, that'd
be tricky.
So that's just another reason to not.
Yeah, don't
watch.
Don't
tell people.
There'll be more of us. Like you'll see us.
Yeah, it's basically a threat.
Yeah.
Like, don't
unsubscribe right away, or else there's another year. Like the thing is, if we had 0 subscribers, we'd still do this.
Yes.
You know, for art.
Yes.
For the world.
It's not for you guys.
No.
It's not even for us.
Wow, how poignant.
It's for the betterment of the world.
Yes, for art itself.
Yes.
Can there be a greater calling for poor artists? Probably. See you next time.
Bye.
As always, we're surprised you made it this far into our video.
There's no way we could possibly ask you to subscribe to this atrocity, so we won't.
We would say share it with your friends, but it's probably better for wasting your enemy's time.
We're probably not going to get any better, but we will keep drawing.
See you next time.